All right, so now today on Stories with Steve is the story of the Bucketheads, right? Who are the Bucketheads? Now, the Bucketheads was this group of Jamaican dudes. They were originally from like by 215, 216, that general area. Now, I don't know what kind of weight they held over there, who they knew, affiliations, whatever. But they ended up moving to the Williamsbridge area, Williamsbridge Road between like Allerton and Pelham Parkway, like a little closer to like the park over there on Mason Williamsbridge Road. That's right near the school 89 or whatever. So they're a few blocks away from there. And these guys had the grand idea that they were going to become these weed kingpins. Yeah, I know. So they move over there and they're kind of just well known for sitting in their backyard. I don't know which one of these guys owned the house, or maybe a few of them did. Who knows? And they'd be in the backyard, which was kind of like in plain sight, sitting on buckets, smoking weed, listening to reggae music. Now, the Bucketheads, right? The Bucketheads thought they were going to take over this area. This was going to be their territory. Now, basically, what happens with the Bucketheads is they try to push their line a little bit, but they're also trying to give people like weed to sell. So what ends up happening is, with the Bucketheads is they end up giving two different guys some weed to sell, and I guess the weed ain't selling the way it should be. I mean, who knows? It might have been bad quality weed. I don't know, right? But it's not selling the way it's supposed to be selling. So now they're pressing the issue on the guys that they gave these packs to. And, one of the dudes is like, give me some more time. I'll be able to sell it, da da da, and I'll have your money. The other dude they gave the pack, once they started trying to get tough with him, he was like, you ain't in your hood. Like, you dead. So now they angry. They angry. Now they got deaded on the pack. So then the second guy, speaks to the other guy, and they both dead these guys on their packs. Now, it's just weed. They're not like selling like hard drugs or nothing. But again, these guys think that they're gonna become the kingpins of the kingpins of weed by selling some mediocre weed. You know what I mean? And they're not even selling it themselves. Because they don't know nobody in the area. They transplants, right? They from over there by 216, 214th or something. So now they're trying to press the issue. So if they see these guys, they're trying to get at them or whatever. But their dumb move is they're 2 blocks away from the projects, right? So you have numerous buildings over there, guys that all grew up with each other and went to school with each other, right? That for all pretenses are fully really willing and able and have been known to jump people, right? And you're trying to press the issue and you just got like 4 or 5, maybe 6 to 7 at the most, skinny, very high Jamaicans who aren't from the area, who don't really seem to have any weaponry or nothing like that. You're just trying to use, I don't know, you think you're from up that way, so you're tough. Maybe, I don't know. So they tried pressing the issue on these guys. And like I said, one guy was more voiceful, like, you dead on you're not getting any of them. You know what? I smoked your weed. So now these guys still trying to press their issue, but it's a dumb move. So now the two guys, you know what I mean? One of them lived in the projects, the other one lived near the projects. So now they tell their friends in the project, like, yo, anytime I walk past, let's say this laundromat or whatever that's near their house, they trying to press the issue and blah, blah, blah. And there'd be a few of them over there. So their homeboys in the project said, don't worry about it. Meet us at, let's say, 3 o'clock tomorrow. So they meet up with the guys in the projects. Now they got about 15 to 20 dudes from the projects with them, right? And the bucketheads are just sitting on their buckets, smoking their weed, thinking we're gonna become the big kingpin, like. So they over there sitting on their buckets getting high, and here come the two dudes that deaded them on their packs, with 15 to 20 guys from the projects. So they roll over there like, you got a problem now? One of the bucketheads turns around. What? Huh? What ya? And they get their ass whooped. The guys from the project swarm them. Like, you know what I mean? They just swarm them like a bunch of wasps or bees, just they're whipping their asses. Now they're picking up the buckets that these guys been known to sit on, and they're beating them in the head with the buckets. They're breaking buckets over their heads. They're putting buckets on top of their heads and kicking their head inside the bucket. It's crazy, right? So the ass whooping stops. The two guys and their friends from the projects walk back over to the projects over there. And the bucketheads are just all over the yard. They're all over this backyard, front yard thing with there's a bucket there, another bucket there, a bucket on somebody's head, a broken bucket. They ended up, moving out of the area because they realized that their Pablo Escobar dreams of becoming the big weed dons of Williamsbridge Road were not going to happen. And they made a miscalculation with threatening people in the area and being 2 blocks away from the projects and thinking everything was going to go over well. But that's the sad story of the Bucketheads. Who knows where the Bucketheads are now?